G'day to ya. Triple Lot coming here, and stories of Adram, the first times, and the testimony of Cain's life is where we're at right now. And at the beginning, we've been talking here about Cain, the murder of Abel, and how Cain just made a lot of wrong decisions, and how the example is for us. And that's what I want to dwell on here is Cain's example. So when Cain was going through the making wrong decisions, wrong judgments, the agreements of his heart, that they were not in alignment with God. When he was agreeing against the lies and the deceptions, what he saw, instead of asking questions, instead of pursuing God and what God is doing is right, he chose to say, no, God is wrong. And based upon that choice, making agreements that God is wrong, that God did not help him, that God, all these kind of things that Cain made a choice of, which we can do so often. We will see something in the world and we'll say, oh, God allowed that, or God did that, and therefore God is wrong, God is evil, or something like this. And it's like, no, when the enemy attacks, or when men are evil to each other, or when the spiritual, the enemy of our souls attacks us, and we attack each other, again, that's not God. That is either us being deceived or the enemy doing it intentionally to harm and steal, kill, destroy. And we just say, oh, God is doing that and therefore God's wrong. It's like, no, wait a minute. Ask God, press into that, talk to him yourself or seek godly counsel and press into what is truly happening in those situations and see that God is righteous, he is right, and sit there. But with Cain, the story is that he started to call God a different name than Adram. He rejected the name of Adram, which is eternal friend, and he accepted, or he birthed, the name of the God of wrath. That his view of who God was a God of wrath. And therefore that's what he attributed to Adram. And this is something that we should never do. We should never come up with a evil name or a name that is not God's character, and say that's him. That is just, we're going down some dangerous roads that I would never want to follow. And that's what I'm saying. That's with what Cain did. And it was very, it led his family down some wrong paths. His wife still called God Adram. A lot of his children, as you'll hear if you keep following, started calling him Adram and had encounters with God, had encounters with the living God who led them to life, led them to safety. But ultimately, Cain's lineage went to destruction. And so we'll get into all that. I just want to stay with the example of Cain, that when he called God the God of wrath, it was not good. And that's for us too, is that don't step into those realms of attributing evil to God when it is not him. So be careful. I just put that in your hands and say, be blessed today and press on. Yep.